I've always wanted to do a trip from Portland to Seattle and Vancouver. It always struck me as a really nice part of the world. So that was the first trip we chose to do while living in North America. Given Portland is known for cycling and breweries, it's probably not surprising it's a city that attracts me. For this journey we took a flight from Toronto to Vancouver, where I had the nicest airport food I'd ever tasted from salmon and bannock, and watched England lose to Greece. We then took a connecting flight from Vancouver to Portland, flying over Mount St Helens, which was a nice throwback to GCSE geography. We arrived at the recently upgraded Portland Airport and made our way to the MAX light rail.
Smile.
It's okay, I just need to do this.
So after that slight hitch with the machines, we found out that we could tap our bank cards to pay. This cost $2.50 and was valid on all modes of transport for 2.5 hours. The max payment in one day was also capped at $5, so it was really good value, particularly for a service from the airport. For this trip we were using the MAX light rail transit to travel from Portland Airport to downtown Portland. The MAX LRT forms the majority of Portland's rail-based rapid transit network. This is supported by a commuter rail line, as well as a more traditional streetcar or tram network which has denser stops and serves the downtown area. The MAX light rail system first opened in 1986, making it quite old for a modern light rail system. By comparison, the similar Manchester Metrolink system was the first of this type to open in the UK. It opened in 1992, which says a lot about UK infrastructure if even the US is beating us. The MAX system reminded me of Metrolink and other British tram systems, given it mainly runs on its own right-of-way within the suburb. As a result, it was pretty quick and it had large distances between stops outside of the downtown area. This meant I got the satisfaction of whizzing past a Cybertruck stuck in traffic. Up yours, Elon. Within the downtown area, MAX runs along streets with shorter distances between stops. This meant it was fairly slow for journeys across the city centre. After around 30 minutes we reached the steel bridge which spans the Willamette River. The bridge opened in 1912 and is a double-decker vertical lift bridge. Road traffic and MAX services use the top deck while rail services and active travel use the bottom deck. We then entered Portland Old Town. Unfortunately, one of the striking features of downtown Portland is the number of homeless people and the open hard drug use. A couple of months after my visit to Portland, I overheard a conversation on the train to Chicago saying how the downtown Portland area had become a no-go area since COVID. It wasn't the worst place I've been in the US in terms of feeling unsafe. LA, but certain areas definitely felt uncomfortable. The state of Oregon decriminalised drug use in 2020, but voted to recriminalise drug use in September 2024, a month before we visited. Whether or not this solves the problem remains to be seen. We were pretty knackered after the flight, so we went to a burger place where Eve's plain burger was so plain they didn't even give her a bun. Unfortunately for her, the place did $2 beer, so I didn't really care. And that ended day one in Portland. Day 2 in Portland started with a cycle tour of the city with Cycle Portland. Eve got an electric bike, but I went for the hardcore option of a standard pedal bike. The tour started by crossing the steel bridge again, but on the lower deck this time. We then traversed the East Bank Esplanade. This is the longest floating walkway in the US, another one off the bucket list. Construction of the Esplanade began in 1998, and the walkway was dedicated in May 2001. The Esplanade was closed for 21 days due to high river levels in 2011, the first time it had been closed since it was built. On the same day, in February 2015, 2 bodies were discovered along the Esplanade. The events appear to be unrelated. This educational section was brought to you by the Wikipedia history section for East Bank Esplanade. We stopped to watch this bridge raise, which was alright. After, we cycled away from the riverbank, passing under one of America's trademark sites, an elevated highway, and onto a parking garage that had been improved significantly with painted murals. I'm a big fan of this kind of thing and wish it was done more often. The next stop was a rose garden in the middle of a roundabout. Portland is famed for rose gardens, and Rose City is its official nickname. Given its alternative nicknames of Rip City and Stumptown, I can see why they went for Rose City. By this point, my arm had become tired from holding the camera and cycling with one hand, so you'll have to enjoy this modal filter at an angle. The Tillicum Crossing Bridge had to be my favourite bridge in Portland. That's an achievement because there are loads of bridges in Portland. Google Maps describes it as a modern, car-free bridge with city views. What's not to like? The bridge is used by buses, trams and Max Light Rail, as well as pedestrians and cyclists. You can really see why Portland is regarded as one of the best, if not the best cities for cycling in North America, with this kind of cycling infrastructure. I also noticed a diverse range of people cycling, including people with e-bikes, which suggests the city's doing something right. Our next stop was to sample another Portland cultural staple, food trucks. This featured ridiculously sized American portions that neither of us could finish. Still, the food was really nice, as you can see from my happy expression. For the afternoon, we headed out of the city to Washington Park. On the way, any homesickness I had for Manchester was alleviated by watching an idiot drive in front of a tram. Nice. Did you see that? That was reversing. Oh, he's come down the wrong way down a one-way street. That was interesting. As Washington Park Max Station is located on a hill, the platforms are 79 metres underground, making it the deepest transit station in North America. It was so deep that it's only accessible by lift. The best thing about North America, in my opinion, is its green spaces. There's some truly stunning parks in both the US and Canada. Washington Park is only located 3 kilometres from central Portland, and yet it felt wild enough that Eve was worried about being eaten by a cougar.
It's America, because
Yeah.
the plastic bread outdoors.
While in Washington Park, We accidentally gate crashed a wedding that was happening in the forest. We also crossed an interesting bridge over a road which connected two parts of the forest. After a long hike, we were rewarded with some great views of the city, as well as the Cascade Mountains in the background. And that completed day 2 in Portland. We quickly walked through a darkening forest back to a cougar-free downtown Portland. Day 3 in Portland started with a bus ride across the Willamette River to catch the streetcar, to then catch a cable car. Is that too many different modes of transport? Probably. It does highlight the integration between modes though. Wait a minute, that's my jumper. I don't remember saying she could wear that. Domestic argument over, I can get back to the nerdy transport stuff. After waiting 5 minutes next to some nice mixed-use development, we got onto an empty tram. The streetcar takes a fairly circuitous route, so the lack of use wasn't too surprising. Oh, it's a dog. At this point, I was struggling for original content, so we went back across the Tillicum crossing, and clearly I'd seen a dog, but not got it on film. Luckily, my editing skills are starting to improve. Once we'd got off the tram, and I'd finished getting overly excited about this transport interchange, look, it's got everything. Cycle lanes, cycle parking, buses, trams. We made our way to the cable car, or whatever weird name the Americans give it. Sky tram or something. No. The cable car opened in 2006 to improve access to Oregon Health and Science University campus and hospital. Before it was built, the only access was 2 two-lane roads. This sounds fine for every normal country, but in the US, if it's not next to an 8-lane highway, it's not accessible.
The cabin will swing as it passes the tower. Please watch your balance.
The cable car is not included in the regular public transport system ticketing, so it's quite expensive at $850 for a round trip, although students and staff get discounts, so it's rightfully fleecing the tourist. Did you enjoy that? Not the most convincing response there.
Hello. As you'll see now, we're on top of this lovely viewpoint of Portland. Thank you for coming to my talk.
Don't quote the day job. I'd say that, but you're not very good at that either. I've been told I need to clarify that Eve is perfectly average at her day job. After returning to solid ground, we jumped back on the tram and headed to a farmer's market in Szymanski Park. This area of Portland was particularly nice, with Szymanski Park being a long linear park that passes through Portland State University. Directly to the north of Szymanski Park, we walked down a newly pedestrianised 9th Avenue. It's nice to see Portland starting to adopt this, particularly considering the US has pretty limited pedestrianisation. And that pretty much ended the trip to Portland. We finished off buying some famous Portland donuts and made our way to Portland Amtrak station for our train to Seattle. The area around the station felt fairly sketchy, so I didn't film the outside, but I did get this picture. Like most Amtrak stations, it was a pretty nice building. So is Portland worth visiting? It's definitely not a traditional tourist destination, but if you like beer and cycling, I'd say, yeah,